What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Your boy Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Everybody has been criticizing him about the story leading up to WrestleMania. One of the biggest heel turns in wrestling history, where people was actually saying that this was a bigger heel turn than Hogan. And they was invested in to see what was going to happen leading into WrestleMania. Even Triple H came out to the press conference and said, "Does it feel like the road to WrestleMania yet?" Well, the time we saw The Rock and Travis Scott with Cody Soul on the belt, and since then leading up to WrestleMania, guess what, y'all? We never seen The Rock since. Not for the build up. We had three promos, back to back with Cena.
Nothing. I said we ain't see nothing.
You ain't see not a damn thing. So everybody was like, "What the fuck The Rock is?" So we was like, well, maybe we're holding out hope that at WrestleMania, because Cena didn't even mention The Rock. Well, guess what? Travis Scott and Fiend, I'm so sick of that song now, came out, and Cody Rhodes gave Travis Scott, who could not take the Crossroads the best way, but he gave him a Crossroads. Cena is a win the championship number 17 in the most uneventful, disappointing main event that you'll find at WrestleMania. I'm not saying it's the worst main event in WrestleMania history, but it's not amongst the top. And Cody did everything he could, but Cena's just not Cena anymore. And the story just wasn't there. It lost a lot. It lost a lot of heat and a lot of steam from there. Well, The Rock said, well, let me go on the Pat McAfee show and explain my side of it. The TKO board director himself went on the Pat McAfee show and said that this is the reason why he wasn't at Mania. You ready to hear this, Brian? Excuse me.
I mean, I think I heard it, but what did he say?
He said, so now we go into Elimination Chamber with this idea of, will Cody sell his soul to the final boss? The Rock said. And my thought at the time was, I know we talked about this, was a litmus test to find out, in my opinion, how will fans respond if Cody sold his soul to the final boss. Let's get a temperature check on this. Let's establish it. Let's anchor it in. You know, The Rock talk. That's why he be talking, man. And you come to find out that where a lot of fans who were saying sell your soul, this is going to be crazy, whatever it is, it's compelling, it's going to be great. Let's do it. Sell your soul. So I was an advocate of that, not turning Cody heel soon, but eventually down the line. I like the idea that because Cody is a smart guy, he's an intelligent guy, and he's an in-ring general. And I think this idea of you give him a reason to turn way down the road. By the way, you give him a reason to turn, not based on titles, not based on this, but it's his soul. And what that means, it affects generations. It's transcending beyond pro wrestling, and fans were loving it. Okay. So, no. I'll get to that. Then he talks about when it comes to John Cena, he says, as we get closer to the Elimination Chamber, we were kicking around ideas, myself, Triple H, and that's the fun part. By the way, I've been kicking ideas around with Triple H for 20 years, dude. Just always having a great time with him and Nick and my team as well. And Triple H said, what about this? What about John turning? I said, I love it. Dude, head against the wall, I'm lying. The next question is, you got to talk to John to see how he feels about it. There's a moment where you have this shift and click moment, and it happened to be me.
Did he say Mana in it?
No, we didn't say Mana.
Okay, all right.
There's one with the shift and click moment.
Oh, did he say he was drinking Terramana? Like, I was drinking my Terramana and I had to spit it out because this idea was so good.
No, he was for Terramana. He thought it had against the wall. It happened to me when I was a pure babyface. I got booed out the building around the world, and they took the title off me in my rookie year, and they sent me home the summer of '97, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew that this is not going to work for me. I didn't even know if I had a future in pro wrestling. I get a call from Vince, and okay, blah 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 blah, and then he said so. So he says, look, we're moving forward with this John idea, moving with John, and this idea of getting him crowned at WrestleMania, becoming 17, and being a heel champion. I knew then the best thing for the final boss, listen, we've established this idea of Cody Soul. We can always come back to it. I did feel, and I made the call. Listen to that. I made the call. This is what Dwayne said. I don't want to be involved in that. Step back. Let the final boss step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John. Let it go to Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul or John's soul. No, let's make them do what they want to do. And I called John at the Elimination Chamber, spoke to him, and called Cody, and I said, I think the final boss works. The final boss work is done. We've established it. We just pulled off the greatest angle in the history of professional wrestling. Other than Hulk Hogan's turning heel back in the 90s, I said, this is amazing. We have 6 weeks now. Now, let's build. You guys go and crush it, and I'll be right there with you, and I'm always here if you need me. But I think it's best for the final boss not to be involved in that finish.
That makes no sense. But you know.
Not a single thing of sense. It sounds like he's trying to cover all bases here. Of what I'm reading here is like, listen, I want to be involved, but it wasn't going my way, so they wanted to go this way, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really. This is just what it sounds like to me. The Rock had an idea. Triple H had an idea. Oh, by the way, we're all friends, right? Bullshit. The Rock had an idea. Triple H had an idea, and the whole Rock winning Cody's soul and turning Cody heel, and him working with The Rock. The Rock wants to work with Cody, and they was just like, not really, not now. Why don't we turn John? He's like, you know what? Fine, that's a good idea, but I won't be a part of that. He purposely said back because he felt as though that this is not what he wanted to do. Because if it was the single greatest moment in professional wrestling next to Hulk Hogan turning heel, which is a big moment despite how you feel about Hogan in the 90s, and you just don't want to be part of that ride, but you was part of that ride last year in Philly when we forced The Rock to turn his hand and became the final boss, and he was all up in the environment all up on the weekend. That happened. And now you're telling me this is so I decided to step back and y'all go out there and crush it. How are we going to crush it? We got an international tour. For 3 weeks, it was nothing but Cody and Cena doing promos. And Cena wasn't even saying shit until the final promo. And on top of that, you mean to tell me Travis Scott bust my eardrum? Y'all make me bloody, and my daughter likes John Cena, and he destroyed his damn TV, and then I'm gonna go walk up to you and have a promo with you? I'm hitting the fuck out you. And then you sell your soul to the final boss. If you didn't want nothing to do with the souls and shit, then why you bring this shit up in the first place?
All I'm gonna say is, I mean, if The Rock was busy filming the movie, that's all he had to say was I was busy filming the movie. Because, first of all, I mean, I know he don't need the payday, but you wrestled last year at WrestleMania for the payday. So, obviously, it's a payday. But, why would you not want to at least show up, though? Like, you want them to have the spotlight, but yet, you, last year, wanted to take the spotlight from Cody. Like, in real life.
In real life.
So, yeah, so, like, what is he saying here?
And here's the thing. He wasn't done yet. He still wasn't done. Because he had to, once again, damage control. This is what The Rock was doing. Damage control is what The Rock was doing. He says, as we get close to Elimination Chamber, we were, no, I got that point. No, this is, okay. So, this is what he said about after WrestleMania happened and the finish happened. This is what The Rock said. They had 6 weeks to plan for that. So I love the finish of the match. I would have finesse things a little differently on how they got there, but that's just me creatively. There are a lot of minds in the room. That's my thought. But still, ultimately, the bottom line was John getting 17, and I never had a concern about John pulling this off. My thoughts are always to Cody because of what we've established with him and his story and the kind of babyface that he is. So if done right, I think if finessed right and if nuanced right, down the road, that guy not only has an incredible babyface run as a champion, but also an unheard runner as a heel down the road. Because The Rock eventually wants to get back. I'm paraphrasing what does. He said he wants to get back to the Soul storyline. He wants Cody to be a heel. He wants basically the Vince McMahon storyline that he had with The Rock in the early days with him. That's what The Rock wants. That's what he just basically said. Remember, my corporate champion. That's what he wants. He wants Cody to give up his soul and join The Rock. He wants his storyline. They clashing heads over there. That's what I'm saying. You gotta look at human nature here. That's what I'm saying. This is why I think Triple H was in his feelings so much. Because, like, The Rock was like, listen, he had this idea. We started this idea. The fans got into it. The Rock said, well, I don't like where we're going with it, so fuck you. You go ahead and do it by yourself. And now Triple H got to do this shit by himself and try to figure out something to do with this story. And the fans like, you know what? This build to WrestleMania has been sucking. So he is probably in his feelings like, yo, this is what The Rock left me to do. They left me hanging. So I'm doing the best I can. Why aren't you appreciating that? But he in his feelings. And he don't know how to say that. That's what I think is happening right here. And The Rock's doing damage control to be like, hey, look, y'all, I want y'all to know that WrestleMania 41 and the build was not my fault because I would have finessed things a little bit differently. Can you read between the lines in that? Anybody that's listening to me talk right now, Lay Sketch in the other room, you right here on this podcast know damn well that is damage control talk right there. It ain't my fault. It's their fault. So don't put none of the blame on me. He's the reason why the road to WrestleMania. What did I tell you when The Rock, when we was on this podcast and The Rock was going TKO? I said eventually him and Triple H is going to clash heads a lot, and The Rock's going to want to do things his way because that's what his track record shows. The Rock wants to take something and make it creative. He tried to turn Black Adam into Black Panther. What? Talking to somebody who's a Shazam fan that is part of my Name on Nerdgasm Talk podcast, who has a Black Adam statue up in his office right now. I was like, why are we trying to make this your cultural hero right now? Because he's not, and want him to feud with Superman. He fucked the whole thing up, did he not, Prime?
I mean, I can see where he was going with it. Like, I wouldn't have minded if they would have went that direction, but whatever. Stuff happens. What, if you telling me that I wasn't excited to see, Shazam and Superman, I definitely would have wanted to see that. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Black Adam was trash. I mean, it wasn't the best.
No, I'm saying because remember he didn't even want to work.
That's what it wasn't like. They could have went in a different direction.
They did. I'm saying he wanted to face Superman. He didn't even want to face
Shazam.
Shazam.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he get his ego out the way, then more things would be better. Because they could have definitely did Black Adam 2 or Shazam 3 or whatever. Get them to they could have definitely did all that, but I guess what The Rock said, it wasn't his character's title movie, so he don't want to be in it.
The Rock don't understand how that shit works. He tried to take over. He tried to take over the DCEU. That didn't work. Like this is what The Rock does. He finds things that he tries to be creative in, and he sits there and tries to manipulate or make it his way. And I think that's like where he go. If he don't get it his way, that's what it is. And so people in the feels about it, and I think he in the feels about how it ended. I'm like, but bro, that is part of your fault. You inserted yourself. You're the fucking Rock. You insert yourself in the storyline. You don't think fans gonna want to finish seeing how that plays out? You mean tell me after Cena turns heel, he don't mention you at all, as he sold his soul to the devil, and you don't ever mention the devil, and you worry about Travis Scott? Who the fuck is that? Y'all know y'all had a heel stable when y'all was walking out, and y'all do nothing to it. He wanted to do his shit. I really think if Cody turned heel, The Rock would still be part of the storyline, and he would do the. I guarantee you, he would have did that. If Cody would have turned heel, instead of Cena, and turned on John Cena and sold his soul to The Rock, the Rock would have been invested in the whole damn storyline going forward. I guarantee it. But since this wasn't his call, he didn't want to do it that way. Sorry, that's just the way it is.